Hi all my stitchy friends. I'm Suzette, Primitive Stitcher. Today is Sunday, May 19th. Welcome back to all my returning viewers and a big welcome to my new viewers. I hope you enjoy my video today. What's new? Before we get into my actual stitching, I just want to apologize. It has definitely been a month of mania and not all stitching related. Work has been crazy. As most of you know, I am in education in an elementary school, and the month of May is just like no other, and this one has been no exception to that rule. We are winding down. Our last day is the 28th, and it can't come soon enough, if I'm being honest. I want to apologize for my lack of response on all your comments. I appreciate everyone. I have quickly read each and every one, but this month I failed to respond to the questions. I had several questions about my thread books and my journals, and I will address those questions at the end of this video in case some of you are not interested in that. What else is new? Just like I said, a lot of craziness. Most of my stitching occurred late at night. I didn't get as much stitching in as I would like just because of work, and I had some rather large orders for my thread books, and thank you very much for that. And I'm hopefully getting caught up on that, and we'll have more posted on my Facebook page soon. So into the stitching. All right, as most of you may remember if you watched my Stitch Mania prep video, I am doing a Stacy Nash Stitch Mania this year. I am starting a new start every Monday through Friday, one each day. And then on the weekend, only one new start for the weekend. So that would give me, what, a total of 27 new starts, I believe, instead of the 31. So let's just hop right into it. I didn't pre-plan what I would start on which day. I just went to my baskets and pulled one out. So on day one, I started the Boxwood Manor Sewing Book and Thread Keep, which will look something like this when finished. And this is all the further I got on that. A little start on the roof. I will be eventually stitching this design as well, but for Mania I just wanted to start on the house design. On the second day I worked on the Eliza Ann Pin Keep, which is out of the book Merry Halloween, and will look, thought I was all prepared here, something like this when complete. Again, it's called the Eliza Ann Pin Keep. And I got quite a decent start on this one. On day 3, I started, I need to remove the pattern, the Mary Bovee sampler. here. Remove that. This is my start on this one. I believe this is the only one that I actually put on a frame. Otherwise, I'm stitching in hand, and that has helped me get more progress than I normally would achieve. I used to stitch in hand exclusively years and years ago, but I developed some arthritis in my thumbs, and so I stopped using that method and went to hoops and frames. But now I just power through the pain. Okay, on day 4, I worked on one called Peace and Plenty, and that is from the book called From Hollyhock Farm. And looks something like this. And I believe that was a weekend, so I had 2 days on this one. And I have a finish. That was a lot of fun to stitch. And I look forward to doing an FFO on that one, hopefully sometime this summer. On day 5, well, I worked on that on day 4 and 5. On day 6, I started a 1902 Paris sampler bag. It will look something like this. And I am using the Sulky 12 thread on this. I wasn't sure how I would like that, and to be honest, at the very beginning I didn't like it, but as I progressed I became more accustomed to using it, and I'm enjoying it, and this is my progress so far. The Sulky is easy to use, and it is supposed to be equivalent to 2 strands of regular floss. 1 strand of this is equivalent to 2 strands of regular floss, which I believe to be an accurate description. I'm stitching this on 30 count mocha, and it has really good coverage with the 1 strand. Then on day 7, I stitched on a piece called the Blue Flower Urn, and that is from a book called From Me to Thee. And this is what it should look like when complete. And not a lot of stitching time on this day. This is all the further that I got on that. But it's a small piece. It shouldn't take long once I get back to it. On day 8, this was one of my favorite starts. I started an animal crackers piece called Jenny, this sweet little girl. And this is what the back will look like. And this is my progress. And this is using 36 count vintage homespun by R&R. I am excited to get back to this one. I think it will be a good project once I get all the little bits and pieces on and the outline done. It's just a matter of filling in, so that should go quickly in the whole scheme of things. On day 9, I started one called Mary Burtis. I think that's how you pronounce it. I am using just DMC 310 on this one. And this is how much I got accomplished on that. It's a bit bigger than I anticipated. I don't know, I'll hold it back here. I'm anxious to get down to some of the alphabet on that one. Then on day 10, I started Halloween Jack sewing roll. And this is how far I made it on that. Just a bit with the border. I thought I would do all of that first and then fill in the inside. And I stitch from right to left when I stitch in hand. So yeah. Anyway, that's Halloween Jack sewing roll. I want to get all these sort of back in their bags so that I don't get anything confused at the end. Okay, on day 11, which was a weekend again, and another project from Hollyhock Farm book, and this one is called the Hollyhock Farm Sewing Roll, which is pictured right here on the front. And because it was a weekend, I powered through and completed that. It was a fun stitch and I cannot wait to finish it either. So that was day 11 and 12. On day 13, I started the 12 Days of Christmas sewing roll. not sure if I will finish it as a sewing roll or frame it. I'm not sure. But this is, whoops. My little start. Doing a lot of frames and borders on my starts this time around. And that's on 32 count putty. I believe that's a Weeks Dye Works. Okay, on day 14, I had a start on the peacock sewing roll. And if you might recall, this is stitched using two different fabrics that are stitched together. I've not stitched them together yet. I just decided to go ahead and start on the peacock portion. And that's how far I got. And then on day 16, I started on another sewing roll, which is called Sarah Quick's Pocket Roll. And not a lot of stitching time that day. And let me see if I can just, yep, it goes up and down, and this is my start. The top border. I had hoped to get down into this section to do the alphabet, but that didn't happen. So those are my first 15 days of Stitch Mania. I'm hoping to have as much success in the next 15, and I still have lots of projects in that second 15 that I'm excited to start and hopefully make it a finish of some of the smalls, but we will see. Like I said, this month has just been incredibly busy with work, with life, and with stitching. Not as much stitching as I would like, but with stitching. So that's going to conclude this part of the stitching part of this video. I want to thank you all again for stopping by. I hope you're having a great stitching month, whether you are participating in Stitch Mania or not. I will always wish you happy stitching. Until next time, be well. If you are staying with me, I will talk a little bit about my thread books. Where did I put them? Hold please. Okay, so I am back. For those of you who are interested in my thread books and my journals, I thought I would give you a look at inside the thread books and journals so that you will know what I'm talking about when I mention those in my videos. I do have a Facebook page, Primitive Stitcher, just like my channel name here on YouTube, and I sell them on there. I don't have any up for sale at this moment, but I do take custom orders as well. Hopefully I will get back on track. I've had a busy month, and I had a rather large custom order, and so I spent most time doing that. but hopefully I'll get back on track and have some posted on my Facebook page at the beginning of my summer. Okay, so what's a thread book? It is a way to organize your floss for a particular project. I came up with this idea because I was just tired of having a baggie of messed up flosses. I do still have some of my DMC on bobbins. I am slowly getting those used up and will not use bobbins in the future. Nothing against bobbins in general, it's just that I prefer to not have to bobbinate. It takes time away from my stitching, and I have a system of using floss away bags and Ziploc snack bags that just seem to work better for me. So I'm also a thread hoarder, meaning that when I'm stitching, if I have leftover thread, I need some place to save that, so that if I just have a couple of stitches of that particular color in my pattern, I don't have to cut a new piece. So that's how this system was born. Just to give you a little idea of where I came up with this. So this is what the thread books look like: a front cover, a back cover. I use binder rings because they allow flexibility in how wide the book can go. So you open it up, and inside it has two what I call index cards. They're library cards, and you can write the name of your project on here, the list of flosses that you're using, whether it's DMC or hand-dyed flosses, and you can also write the symbol over here. I don't use these in my own personal floss books. I'll show you in a moment what I do use, and it's just simply not because I don't like this system, but because I'm cheap and I had some other cards that I wanted to use up instead of using these. When all of those are used up, I will go back to these. You can also put other information on these, like your start date, the fabric that you're using, that type of thing. So inside you will receive 10 floss away bags that I have put a divider in. Okay, so this will house 10 skeins of floss, or possibly 20, because you can put one in the front and one in the back. I will show you how I use mine most of the time in a moment. So this is what they look like. These are all handmade by me. When you purchase one, they will not come to you looking exactly like this, because I take the rings off for shipment. So this is what it will look like. It will be wrapped in tissue paper, and I just take a little string, I tie it together, and then the rings are in here in a small bag, and it comes just with a little note saying that I've taken the rings off for shipment, and you just snip the, thread the rings through, snip the threads, and you're good to go. Again, I mean, the rest of it is in here as I showed you on this one, but this is how it is shipped, like this. So let me show you some examples of how I use mine. This one houses floss for my berry basket tray that I haven't, it's a Stitch Mania piece that I have yet to start, but I write down the name of the chart, who it's by, and I also add in the fabric that's called for, and if I'm using something different, I write that down, and if it's stitched 1/2, 2/2, whatever, and then the list of flosses. So on mine, I also will do just a quick tag on here because I want, when I'm finished with this project, I want this to be able to be used for another project. So I just take an address label, I write the name of the floss and the symbol. That isn't necessary. You could do the same on this card. I put mine either in alphabetical order or numeric order if it's all DMC, so that if I look on the chart, I see the symbol and it's for cranberry, I can, I know to look for cranberry in alphabetical order. So because I haven't started stitching on this, I can't show you how I store my extra floss in this. This thread book is housing my threads for, I think it's called Summer Sampler by Told in a Garden. This project calls for the Wildflowers by Karen collection threads, which are a bit thicker than DMC or Classic Colorworks. So what I do, again, because I'm cheap, I'm using things in my own personal thread books that I wouldn't use in the ones that I offer. I had a lot of non-floss away bags that I wasn't going to throw away. I want to use up, so I used those. I went ahead and put an acid-free card into the bag, wrote the name of that on here and the symbol. But you can see this has 11 of the Wildflowers flosses in here. Same size rings. Yeah, it gets a little bit full, but it will house a lot. So when I'm stitching, I like to, we'll use this one as an example. You see this length of thread? It has a needle attached because I may have only needed to do a few stitches with that. Rather than unthread my needle, put my floss away, get out my new floss, I just go ahead and drop my threaded needle back into the opposite side that I have my floss. I hope that makes sense. You could do the same if you used this, if you use both sides for different flosses. Just drop your needle down into that area with your skein of floss. So this book goes into my project bag with my project. It's all in one spot. What I do is I just open this up. It lays relatively flat. I lay it on my lap as I'm stitching, or on the side table, or on the arm of my sofa, depending on where I'm stitching. And it's right there. I can just flip through it like you would a book to find what I need. I also store my needles in some of mine. So I hope that explains a little bit better about my floss books. Again, they are all handmade by me. Price point is they run $10 per book, plus shipping and handling. They are reusable. Like I said, I give you 2 of these, and they come front and back printed. You can write on there with pencil, erase later, use it again for another project. Or if you need more of these, you can also just private message me on my Facebook page and I can send some out to you. Okay, that's it for the floss books. I hope that explained a little bit better what they are all about. And now I'll talk a little bit about my journals, which are also listed on my Facebook page. How I came about making journals. I have been a paper crafter and journaler for many years. And unfortunately, I have not been documenting my stitching for as many years as I have been doing my personal journaling. But several years back, I did make a journal. Well, actually the very first one, it was a gift from someone, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna use this for my stitching. And that filled up, and then I just started making my own and customizing it to stitching. So this year I'm using one that my son made for me at the end of last year, and mine looks like this. It has lots of goodness on the inside. I added extra things into mine. You can add extra things into yours. I use it to store receipts from places that I've purchased items, just bits and bobs of this and that, okay? Tags off of fabric. I will show you. Okay, so how I journal in mine. This was a start and a finish for one of my Christmas ornaments from Annie B's Folk Art. Sometimes I take photos of my finished item and put in here. I've not done that a lot this year, but hopefully I'll get back to that. And you can always add those in later. So let me show you one. This is a bit different because this was custom made by my son, and how could I not use it, right? The kind that I make, that I offer on my Facebook page, will look a bit different. This is the front. This is the back. It comes with a clip. The clips will vary in size, in color. It comes with a charm on the clip. Those will also vary. No two may be the same, or they may be the same. Again, these are all handmade by me. They also come with what I call a pencil board, which looks like this. It allows you, it's for putting behind the page that you're writing on, so it gives you a little bit more stability to write. Right now, this is the only design that I offer in pencil boards. in the future, I might have others. It also comes with 2 clips. The pencil board will be clipped in. And I usually try to add in a fun clip of some sort. This happens to be a little bird. But the clips will vary from book to book, just depending on what I can source. This is the inside cover. And then there are various designs on some of the pages. There are some blank pages. Again, there's that one. Here's a blank page where you can write your own whatever purchases, wish list, and whatnot. So just to show you a bit, again, these are all handmade by me. They are not stapled, they are sewn. They do open flat for ease of writing. The end page looks like this. So they come in various designs, whatever paper that I find and think that others will like. Here's another version. Same insides on every one. As far as the pages, the things that will vary are the clips on the inside and the clips and charms on the outside. Price point for these is $25 plus shipping and handling. But again, they're handmade. Sometimes one of a kind. Maybe I only have or can find one paper for one design. So, and it's too good not to make something and pass along to someone who can use and appreciate it. So that's a little bit about my stitching journals. If you have any questions about anything, the stitching journals or the thread books, please don't hesitate to ask, and I will be more than happy to answer any of your questions. That's it for today, my friends. I hope you are all in stitching happiness, and until next time, bye for now.